Yes, you want to start recording right now, player. I got my tea, I got my coffee, I got my tea, and I got my water. Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. 2 minutes, please. Start. Well, you know what that is. Look at this. Grandpa's plaque. Oh my gosh, dude. You guys know every day, like I do little Easter eggs for you guys. Change it up a little bit so that way it's not always the same show. Same show, different show. You get what I'm saying? Today is going to be absolutely unbelievably magical. Where's my notes for today? Okay, I got to make sure. I know you guys are ready. You guys are freaking ready, man. Let's see. Okay. Tea. What? Wrong pipe? No. Why does that happen as I go on air? Don't understand it. You guys know what Thursday is. It's Treat Yourself Thursday. And you guys know we always go live 2 or 3 minutes before 7 a.m. Let you guys come on in, stream in, because I know you're ready for the best Treat Yourself Thursday you ever had, player. So much to talk about. Okay. Oh my gosh, we have a huge show today. A huge show today. Oh my gosh. I know. Is my checklist ready? Did that. She's ready. Did that. Did that. Okay. Let's make sure I'm connected. Did that. Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. Okay. Is this the very first show where I got the mic on? I got like Starlink separated it to 4 to 5, the 5 megahertz thing. Now I'm on the 5. This could be the very first show that had the best audio and best video ever, which means that today, I think this is episode 45, 46. It's going to be the best business for breakfast you've ever heard or seen. Well, you guys tell me in the comments, okay? All right. Okay. 7 a.m., my beautiful babes. Not yet. Almost. Wait. You're going to hear the alarm. There it is. Oh. Oh, my word. Well, let me shut the door and we shall get started. 2 seconds. And whacka-pow. Are we ready for the best business for breakfast Treat Yourself Thursday you ever seen? All right. Well, good morning, business builders, and welcome to Business for Breakfast, where business is the most important middle of the day. I'm your host, Aaron Novinger, the Venti Business Guy, otherwise known as VBG. Our goal in this show is to make you 1% smarter today by unpacking business news over the last 24 hours, sprinkled with tips and tricks to help you mind your own business. All right, now, I know you peeps ain't here for me. You never are. You always here for the morning mark. Why? Well, it's pretty easy, man. No props required, no drinks, no gear, just you and a functioning brain. We'll work with what we got. Hello, good morning, Justin, you little genius. Hey, don't forget, we got to update our little Opus clips. Winkety wink, my bro. All right. No props required, no drinks, no gear, just you and a functioning brain. We'll work with what we got. Wherever you are, desk, truck, kitchen, job site, standing or sitting, it don't matter. Pick one thing you will finish today. Not a list, not 10, not 3, just one. Now mark it mentally and write it down. That is the line in the sand. That's the thing the day doesn't get to erase. That's the pause that sharpens the edge, the moment that turns noise into signal. It's the tiny act that makes business owners dangerous in a good way. That, my friends, is your morning mark. Your day has officially started. All right, my peeps, you drive, I dive. Buckle up, buttercup, and let's roll. Are we ready? Are we ready for the greatest Treat Yourself Thursday? Now, why is today Treat Yourself Thursday? It's easy. Why? Because we, mom and pop venti shops, are the hardest working humans on earth. And we are also the least underappreciated, So hardest working, least appreciated, and we make everybody else the priority over us, except for today. Today is Treat Yourself Thursday. One day a week. That's it. Just one. You are allowed. You're allowed to take care of yourself today. And that's why today's color is purple. Because playa, you is royalty. All right? Are you ready? Now, this is going to break. You guys remember this, okay? From one of the greatest shows of our generation called Parks and Rec. Are you ready for a little Treat Yourself Thursday? This is going to get you in the mood, playa. This is the theme for today. Are you ready? Are you ready?
For you, treat yourself. Treat yourself 2011. Once a year, Donna and I spend a day treating ourselves. What do we treat ourselves to? Clothes. Treat yourself. Fragrances. Treat yourself. Massages. Treat yourself. Mimosas. Treat yourself. Fine leather goods. Treat yourself. It's the best day of the year. The best day of the year.
All right, my beautiful peeps. Today is the best day of the week. All right. Treat Yourself Thursday. And you guys know I'm going to give you guys 2 or 3 little things to spoil yourself rotten that don't cost a lot of money, don't get a lot of time, because I know you ain't got both. And I got a couple little cheap old gadgets I'm going to show you here in a little bit, which you know this show is to make you 1% better. These gadgets, everything that I talk about on this show, I'm a big believer in eating my own home cooking, meaning I use it on the daily. Okay, so what you're going to see this afternoon, not this afternoon, here in a little bit, is a couple little cheapo gadgets that are going to make your life 1% better. Okay, but that's at the end. We have a lot to cover in between now and then. We've got this day in history. We got some juicy news, right? And then we get to Treat Yourself Thursday. Okay, and then we finish out with the amazing reframe from our modern day oracle, Scott Adams. Okay, and is going to blow your mind, your face, and your head off your body. Okay. Now, before we get going, you guys know there's a couple little things we got to cover. One, if you guys ever want to accounting plus.com, and there's a little great talk with Aaron Playa. That's me. Okay. I'll take care of you. No problem. You can stick to my calendar. We'll talk about anything you want to talk about, business strategy, consulting, whatever. And also, I'm also let you guys know that tomorrow, Rebecca and I leave this afternoon for a conference. It's a 3-day conference in, just outside of Austin, Texas. And I'm really excited about it. It's the David Bayer conference. By the way, this dude on YouTube is phenomenal, bro. The way he explains manifestation, fourth dimension stuff, neuroplasticity, like all this stuff. I don't know, man. I've heard this a million times my whole life, but it hits different when it comes from him. And so I did this for Rebecca's birthday, and so we're both going to go to this conference for a weekend. So there'll be no show tomorrow. Okay. But the last thing before we get into it, a little bit of the, just getting things done, some of the chores. I always need to be talking about our bike ride. So you guys know that we every year, we as an accounting firm, we sponsor this event that we started called Pedaling Against Ponzis. The website is ponzirelief.org. You can see it right here. This is last year's shirt. The shirt for this year has already been made, so it's going to be the 3rd annual. We leave the day after tax season, and we pull into DC Memorial Day weekend. So I don't know. I bike around 50 miles a day. So it's not killing me, but it takes me forever to train for this thing. But if you guys want to know about what it is that we do, how you can get involved, whatever, go to ponzirelief.org or go to Facebook, Pedaling Against Ponzis, and you'll see some pics and stuff from last year. Or you can just Google Aaron Novinger 2,000 miles, and you'll see a lot of my press releases from the last couple of years, and you'll like. So the first year I did on a recumbent trike, Terra Trike Traveler. And then I upgraded to a velomobile because A, safer, B, insanely more efficient, C, weather protection, D, way more visibility for the mission, which is why we do it. So on the side of the bike, we've got our little fathead sticker talking about the event and all that stuff. So go to ponzirelief.org, check it out. No show tomorrow. Now can we dive into this day in history? Because it's going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind. Okay, let's do it. Now, here's what's crazy about this. Okay, so this day in history kind of underscores the polio shattering power of medicine and the logistical might of post-war construction. It's a date that marks both a victory over global plague and significant step in the legal and territorial history of the U.S. All today being March 26th. So what happened? Ready? 1953, Salk announces polio vaccine. Dr. Jonas Salk went on a national radio network to announce successful testing of a vaccine against polio. This is a monumental technological shift in public health, moving the world from a state of terror over a paralyzing error to an era of systematic eradication. It is funny because I don't think before or after we've actually created something that cured. Like, think about how many vaccines after polio that we've created that we call vaccines, but actually don't. Again, I'm speaking out of ignorance, but we all know that there is a lot more money in treating rather than curing. And we also know, think during COVID, we now realized kind of the wizard behind the curtain, and we know that 90% of AMA's funding comes from big pharma, and big pharma is the one that dictates what the doctors can and can't say, or they risk losing their license. And they spent their entire career, most of them are in debt. They have an insane lifestyle, their identity, everything in being an MD and a DO. So they will not cross the AMA. And we all know big pharma is the one that dictates what AMA says. And so, therefore, they make money on keeping you healthy rather than curing. Makes no sense to me. You can see everything that we look at, just follow the money. Either follow a heart or follow the money, because it's only going to be one or two places. Okay. What else happened this day in history? March 26th. Ready? The publication of the Book of Mormon. That's right, bro. Today. Like, major milestone. Okay, so this it was, I guess, during the Second Great Awakening, and I guess it was a significant moment in what they call the technology of American publishing. So, utilizing the rapid printing advancements of the early 19th century to distribute this brand new American literature, what they call scripture, right? Book of Mormon, and I guess that's for Mormons, but they call them LDSs now. They don't like being called Mormon. Kind of the same way Amway is now called Quickstar. They're like, we've evolved past that name that carries all that baggage. Right. Right. Okay. What else happened this day in history? What? Shut up, dude. 1997, this day in history, the 30-year domain anniversary. Around this time in the late 1990s, the internet saw a surge in the technological infrastructure of the domain name system, the DNS. Did you know that's what DNS meant? I did not know that. It's a legacy of the first registration we discussed on March 15th as businesses scrambled to secure their digital real estate. Bro, the 90s, there's like the Great Awakening, which I believe 2026 is the Great Awakening. And I believe the 90s with the invent was the dress rehearsal for the Great Awakening. So it was all of us working it out in the 90s, the release of information, the pendulum swing, we get everything over here, and then all of a sudden we much, and we got to get it balanced, right? I feel like that's where we're at right now. And so, yeah, domain's been around forever, but I feel like what's happening today is a true partnership. Well, before it was access to information, which was, think of that dress rehearsal. Today it's information plus assistance. And so I think this year is going to be mind bending for the entire planet. Okay. What else happened this day in history? Ready? 1979, the Egypt-Israel peace treaty. Yeah, bro. That was in 79, man. 79. Okay. Egyptian President Anwar Sadat and Israel Prime Minister Menachem Begin signed a peace treaty at the White House. This ended 30 years of war between the two nations and remains a cornerstone of Middle Eastern diplomacy. That's today, bro. I mean, you guys know. And then we've enhanced that in the last 10 years with the Abraham Accords, strengthened even more. And I believe even now, especially with the unrest and everything that's going on, the power shift happening in Iran, I believe that the last puzzle piece to secure the Abraham Accords, making the entire region like just rock, meaning everybody does their own thing, right? They all have their own money. They can do what they want to do, but together they make big decisions together, right? It's like the Fokker circle of trust, but it's like the Middle East guys. It's like their circle of trust. What else happened this day in history? What? 1950, the end of the longest reign. King Leopold III of Belgium abdicated his throne following a controversial referendum. This is a major social and political shift in post-war World War II European monarchies, reflecting the changing tides of democratic accountability. Really? Did you ever once think Belgium was like, oh my gosh, like you've got like Hitler and you got like Mussolini and you got like Stalin and you got like, and then you're like, oh yeah, and don't forget about Leopold. You're like, wait, huh, what? Like Belgium, and you're like the beer guys? Like, what? But so we're not saying that obviously that having this monarch or this reign makes you a tyrant or a dictator. Okay, we're just saying this dude reigned for a long time. Okay, and we don't really see that anymore. But guess what else happened, man? Battle of Iwo Jima ends this day in history, 1945. After 5 weeks of some of the fiercest fighting in the Pacific theater, the island of Iwo Jima was officially declared secure. The logistical and human cost of this victory heavily influenced the final strategic decisions of World War II, which we know what that meant. Yeah. Dropping a couple of things that kaboom, lots of people suffer. Yeah. That thing. What else happened this day in history? 1804. The territory of Orleans was created. Yep. By the way, you guys know our handshake agreement, right? So, I'm a man of my word. Okay. Military runs deep. My military pin, grandpa's blacks, all three of my parents, natural dad, all of them, air traffic controllers in the Navy. So the military is a big, big deal to me. So anytime we're talking about war or whatever, it weighs very heavy on me, especially the sacrifice of these amazing men and women. And they do it because they have to. You won't find one person who is considered a hero in history that would call themselves a hero. What they just said is, "I did what everybody else would do in that situation," and that is the calling card of a true hero. But all during the war and everything we got going on here, we've got the territory of Orleans. The U.S. Congress passed an act dividing the Louisiana Purchase into two territories. This was a critical legal and accounting milestone in the westward expansion of the U.S., setting the stage for future statehood for Louisiana. Yeah, bro. And you guys know the deal. It's a handshake agreement. Man of my word. Military runs deep. So if you guys, my agreement to you, I'm going to make you learn something and you're going to laugh a little. But your agreement, handshake agreement, remember, that's me doing a little handshake. Okay, we have like two plastic gloves and we just shook on it. Okay, like, your agreement is you got to like and subscribe. If you laugh or learn, you got to like and subscribe. I promise you, it takes me way longer to make you laugh or learn than it does for you to hit like and subscribe. Guaranteed, playa. Guaranteed. Now, can we shift into some birthdays here? Because we got some biggies, playa. Robert freaking Frost, 1874, and not Jack Frost. Okay, no. Robert Frost, quintessential American poet whose work, like Road Not Taken, captured the rugged individualism and natural beauty of New England. His legacy remains a pillar of American literature. That's our boy, Mr. Robert Frost. Today, 1874. Tennessee Williams play of this day in history, 1911, one of the greatest playwrights in American history. His masterpieces, like A Streetcar Named Desire and A Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, revolutionized the technology of the stage with their psychological depth and Southern Gothic themes. You know that play was on some LSD with some mushrooms. Come on now. You don't unlock that part of your brain unless you're doing some psychedelics. That's for sure. Diana Ross, today in history, 1944. The legendary singer, actress who rose to fame as the lead singer of the Supremes before launching a massive solo career. You talk about one of the iconics. And unfortunately, her niece, the wife on Blackish, who was it last year, is so blissfully unself-aware that she was caught using her foot scrub and flaking off her feet in the airplane. Hand to God. Go look at it. Didn't make it up. So how do you go from Diana Ross, like this iconic person, to this same genes, like related? I don't know, man. It's weird. I mean, we're talking a couple generations here, but still. Sandra Day O'Connor, legal titan who became the first woman to serve as an associate justice of the Supreme Court. Yes, she was born this day in history, 1930. Her legacy is a testament to the breaking of glass ceilings in the American legal system. Big, big, big deal for us, man. Getting a female Supreme Court, there ain't one person that thinks that's a bad idea. Not one. And now we've got more than one, obviously. But she led the field, man. Larry Page, 1973, American computer scientist and entrepreneur who co-founded Google, right? LPSB, man, Larry Page, Sergey Brin. His work on PageRank algorithm is arguably the most significant technological shift in the history of information retrieval. Google had one goal: to index all of the world's information, and it took them like 10, 15 years, and they did it all. Everything. Anything that's written, they indexed. Mind-bending, right? But we also know Google had a little help from a little tiny little segment of the government called DARPA. And we also know that Google won a DARPA grant because this was actually Google. The idea from it came from DARPA because they wanted to index the world's information, use it as a weapon. I know, right? Crazy. I swear, bro. What else happened this day in history? Bro, 1958, Explorer 3 launched. The United States successfully launched Explorer 3, which provided more detailed data on the Van Allen radiation belts first detected by Explorer 1. This was a critical technological step in mapping the invisible geography of space. What? What? No way, dude. You know what else is kind of crazy? Bro, today, this day in history, you're going to think I'm talking about the 60s. I'm not. I'm talking about 1997. Heaven's Gate tragedy. Remember that cult? In a somber moment in history, the bodies of 39 members of the Heaven's Gate cult were discovered in San Diego, where I was born, playa. This happened in my town? Whoa, okay, that's freaking weird, man. They believed their deaths would allow them to board a spacecraft trailing Comet Hale-Bopp, a tragic reminder of the intersection of space-age mythology and human vulnerability. Playa. We fall for this crap all the time. That is why you hear me say it all the time. You must have a circle of trust. You got to have a Fokker circle of trust, okay? You remember that movie, the Meet the Fockers, right? Remember Jack, the dad, had his circle of trust? He was like this, Remember how he went in the basement and he was talking Thai? And then Gaylord Fokker was like, oh, Jack talked Thai. Jack talked Thai real good. He's down the basement. Bing dong, shing dong, mong ding, shong, mong dong, shing dong, 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 bong. I swear, dude, it is absolutely fantastic. Gaylord Fokker being an RN, but he did well enough to actually do MCAT and get and become a doctor, decided not to. It is just absolutely fantastic. You will love it. But here's a kicker. That's what we're just talking about here, man. You get into a cult, it's because you don't have a circle of trust that you're listening to. You have to understand all of us suffer from something called cognitive dissonance, meaning when you're suffering, you're the only one in the room that can't see that you're falling for it. Everybody else can, but you. Okay. And that's why you have to have a circle who could say, hey, peace and love. Remember, your circle of trust has to approach you in the right way. Okay. You guys know I'm a part of a peer advisory. It's one of the unique things that we do at our accounting firm. By the way, if you have any questions or you want to know what it is we do, go to accountingplusaccountability.com. You'll see a little gold thing up in the header. It says talk with Aaron. That's me. Schedule time to talk to me wherever you want. But this is the thing. We have peer advisory groups. We actually meet today. But they're literally these little executive councils, like your own personal board of directors, all peers, all high capacity people, there to give you clarity because we typically work in 10 to 12 week sessions. Like we want to get big things done over a quarter. But then they hold you accountable, not like a mushy mom way, but like a coach would, like a personal trainer. Okay. But also stern. And then the third thing is they help us minimize mistakes, especially ones that cost us money. And so having a circle of trust, your own peer advisory group, fixes all this stuff, man. It fixes all of it. So, that's one of the big things that we do. But here's the thing. This is just a lesson for you, whether you're working with us or not. Make darn sure you've got your own peer advisory group, your own circle of trust. Okay. I just want to make sure that you don't fall for this stuff because it's not okay. It's not okay that people have to die and suffer needlessly, especially when it's just a lack of knowledge and information, right? You guys want to hear about some fun facts today? Now, here's the thing. There's two biggies, and I'm going to let you decide which. You guys know we talk about like the podium award winners every day. A lot of times there's 1, 2, or 3. Like on Monday it was National Puppy Day, National Chips and Salsa Day, and National Tamale Day. So I got all 3, gold, silver, and bronze. Okay. But today I only got 2 biggies. And you tell me which goes where. National Spinach Day and Live Long and Prosper Day. Right? So National Spinach Day or Live Long and Prosper Day. Which one is gold? I think we already know this. Live long and prosper. Spinach, I swear, only because they have to be on the podium, they get like barely a silver, okay? Unless you put that crap in a blender, okay, and it's fresh. But dude, as a kid, I was forced to eat this spinach crap. And my parents, bro, they were like 3rd-degree black belt in like mental manipulation because they made us watch Popeye. And so like I was like, okay, well, I want to be big like Popeye. And so I could eat this disgusting watery down stuff in this can because I'm gonna look like Popeye. But really it has nothing to do with any of that crap. Okay. It was just their way of being like, you want to be like Popeye? Eat this disgusting crap. Okay, fine. I'll eat the crap because I want to look like Popeye. Yeah, freaking joke, bro. And then I'm being taught in school, oh yeah, follow the food pyramid. Like 80% of what you eat has to be like bread and cereal and crap. What the hell, bro? I swear, bro. Us born in the 70s, grew up in the 80s and part of the 90s. Find me another generation like us anywhere on earth in history before or after, man. You won't. You won't. Okay. Our generation, Gen X, bro, we just cut different, man. We just cut different. Now, what'd you guys think of this day in history? Blew your mind, right? I knew it freaking would, bro. I knew it would. Okay. Now, are you guys ready for some juicy news? Like the stories today, bro. Unbelievable. You're gonna love all the stories. Okay. They're all gravy train. Okay. But remember, if you have questions, you want to talk, go to accountingplusaccountability.com. Schedule a call, talk with AA Ron. We'll talk about anything you want to talk about, business strategy, taxes, payroll, consulting, whatever. I got an idea for a business, whatever it is. And we'll talk about anything you want to talk about. Also, on the website, if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see a little place there to ask a question. So you can go ask a question, goes right to the question page. I'll reply back or read it on air. Okay. So if you guys let me know in the comments, like, respond. You guys know my only job today is make you learn something and laugh a little. That's my handshake agreement to you. And I'm a man of my word. But you need to be a man of and a woman of your word. And you need to do your given responsibility, which is like and subscribe. Okay. It takes me hours to do what I do, and it takes you seconds to do what you do. Let's see. Who's going to sacrifice more right now? Be honest. You know it's me. Now, like and subscribe, and I'll keep teaching. All right, players. Can we jump into some juicy news? Juicy news. Juicy news. I can't say juicy news without doing it 3 times. I don't know, bro. It's like a tick when I'm in public. If I have to utter the words juicy news, I must say it 3 times and sing it the last time, like I'm Mr. Ed, the old black and white horse show with peanut butter on the roof of his mouth. I'm like that. Okay, like that. That's how they get horses to talk, act like they talk. Peanut butter right there. Not horse trying to get that. It's so funny, dude. All right. Now, we know today being Treat Yourself Thursday, we got a lot of cool stuff I'm going to show you guys here in a second. But the SBA is drowning in $279 billion in pandemic loans that have gone bad. Remember I told you they did over $1 trillion and over 20% of it is fraud. Yep. Small business owners are still wrestling with tariff whiplash, and the Iran war is squeezing fuel costs into every supply chain. But there is a bright side, players. AI is saving time. The new tax provisions are boosting cash flow, and consumer spending on experience is holding strong. Goldman Sachs says 76% of small businesses are now using AI. Bro, we use it every day. Grab your coffee here. 10 stories you guys need to know. How can we start off with the very first thing, which is what in the rizzle drizzle is going on with all the fraud, the waste, fraud, and abuse that's been going on since really we can really start to see the beginning of it in the 80s. That's right. But here's the story. The SBA pandemic loans haunt small businesses, $279 billion in trouble. So the New York Times reports that SBA lent $378 billion to the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program, EIDL, during COVID. Now over $75 billion has been referred to Treasury for collections. And you need to understand how this works. The IRS, whenever you get something for that you owe money, the collection arm of the government is the Treasury. They oversee all 3-letter agencies, including the IRS. And that's why it's illegal for the IRS to issue an audit on an IRS-approved church. A high-ranking member of the U.S. Treasury is the only one that's allowed to do that because the Treasury oversees everything. They are the collection agency of the 3-letter agencies, all of them. Yep. If there's a fine from the FAA, if there's a fine from the SEC, if there's a fine from the IRS, the Treasury collects it all. Yep. So now that $75 billion has been referred to the Treasury for collection with an unpaid principal balance of $279 billion. Small business attorneys report a surge in calls from owners receiving immediate full payments plus the penalties plus the fees. I'm just trying to help you out a little bit, ma'am. Understand that this is a dog that's chasing you that will catch you. You might think you're on a little crotch rocket, like, "Wee," and you're zipping past, and there's a cop chasing you, like, ooh, 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 right. And you're like, oh my God, I like blew past him. And he's like, gone, long gone. And you're like, oh yeah, like, and this is like forever long. You beat the cop, you're hanging out, you're working, and all of a sudden cops walk into your place of work. This is like years later. Oh, hey, remember when you thought you were outrunning this like 3 years ago? Well, the good news is that we found you. And now you've got basically, because now it's gonna be 3 years of basically on the run from the popo. So now you got to pay the penalty interest of 3 years of being on the run. If you would have just pulled over 3 years ago, this would have been super simple, bro. But this is on you. That is Uncle Sam. It's not if, but when they catch you, and they will. Also understand, we spend half of our life as a back office accounting firm for you guys doing ministerial administrative paperwork. This is what we do. So if you guys need help with anything, let us know. We do this. You guys need help with this stuff. We're not your attorney, but we can help you with a lot of this paperwork, loans, and stuff that we're talking about. Okay, so, but understand, this is the reason why it's a big deal to you. If you took an EIDL loan, check your status now on the My SBA loan portal. If you're struggling, the SBA offers a 50% payment reduction for 6 months. Okay, do not ignore these collection letters. Okay, because the fees keep adding every month. It does not go away. Okay, so your job is to talk to a small business attorney this week. We'll help you with any paperwork that we need to get done. All right. What else is going on in the news today? How about this amazing story? Tariff Whiplash 2.0. New 10% tariff, blanket tariff confuses mom and pop Venti shop. So here's the story. After the Supreme Court struck down several IEEPA-based tariffs the Trump administration invoked an untested legal clause to impose a 10% blanket tariff on all U.S. trading partners. Many small businesses that just finished adjusting their supply chains are now scrambling again as the new framework could change in 150 days. I freaking told you this. I tell you this all the time. So if you guys remember when the Supreme Court changed the IEEPA tariffs and said that's against the Constitution. Well, then they put in place a thing that said, okay, well, now you can apply for all the tariff money that you put in. And what I tell you guys, do not. I said the thing about Mr. Orange Man and that administration is when he's got something in his mind, it happens unless he's dead or in a coma, which means if he's decided tariffs are going to be what he's going to do. And by the way, go back to his, go watch some of his interviews in the 1980s. Where he's talking about we need to impose tariffs in the 80s. This is not a new thing. He's been talking about this his entire life. This has been one of his big things. It ain't going away. And what does he do? He goes to his law firm, which he basically has unlimited access to legal. Says, hey, by Friday, you're going to come back and you're going to tell me how we're going to do it legally. Buy the book. But it's going to be happening. Figure it out. Okay. That's what I'm talking about, bro. This dude don't play. Okay. And I told you, if you do it and you get it, they're going to impose this and don't expect them to backdate it. The dude don't want to lose no money. And then they're going to have to, there's a penalty and interest you have to pay if they backdate it. And guess what he's doing? He's now imposing a 10% blanket tariff because of the ones that had to be undone because of the changes in the IEPA laws. Yes, bro. So what I tell you guys all the time, you have to be very cautious of your COGS, cost of goods sold. So 2/3 of our customers are mom pop restaurants and then like the garages, the mechanics in the shops. So restaurants, their biggest COG obviously is food. And then the mechanics, their biggest COG is obviously parts. Both of those, a lot of stuff gets shipped from overseas and requires delivery trucks to get it to their place of business, to that brick and mortar, which means, mark my words, your invoicing is going up. Delivery chip charges are going up. Excess fuel charges will be added to the invoice. So use a mom pop Venti shop. Use your inventory, bro. Wait until the crap settles before we do it. Because right now, and here's the thing. Here's the kicker. If you can't postpone and you got to order, you must adjust your pricing to the customer. Adjust the cost of your part. The cost of COGS, adjust it up to cover what you're paying. It's not okay for you, mom pop Venti shop, to be the one who doesn't pass that to the customer. You're already insanely like lean profit margins. Don't do it. And by the way, that's what we do. So like every month you're visiting with our account manager and we're reviewing their COGS. We're reviewing all that stuff. We're looking at them out. Like we're seeing what that looks like, you know? And so I'm telling you, man, this is really, really big for us, right? But understand that 10% rate can go higher. So understand, if you import anything, talk to your customs broker. Okay. I'm just telling you, man, you've got to have a handle on this. You cannot. And I also understand this is difficult because you as the owner are spinning all 7 plates of business yourself, right? So the 7 plates of business are simple, man. And this is why the mom and pop Venti shop is struggling the most and always the hardest working, because the owner has to spin all 7 plates. Plate 1 is the trade. That alone will take you 20 years to master, and you still won't master it. And that's what the customer knows you by. It's what they Google to find you. But then you got the accounting plate. If you don't have that mastered, you're out of business in a few years. But I don't know how to do that. And if I did, I'd be an accountant. I know, but you have to know how to do that. We've got sales and marketing plate. You need to know how to get people to your door. Or you're out of business a couple years. The HR plate. You have to know how to hire people, how to do it, where to do it, the top person. How do I pay them? 1099s? Is it W-2? What forms do I do the IRS? When do I pay the IRS? How do I pay the IRS? Yeah, don't forget, you got the customer service plate. 90% of small business owners take feedback personally, and they take their business personally, and they should. And then they take their feedback personally, and they shouldn't. Okay. But you got to know how to spin that plate. It's a skill that you must learn. Don't forget, we got logistics plate. That's building your SOPs. Think logistics, the most efficient way to go from point A to point B, which is a system and a process. And we've got to engineer this, right? We got to lay the track for the train to run on, right? So there's the wrong way, the right way, and your way. And so with all this, we got to do that. And don't forget, that's a logistics plate. And then let's don't forget plate 7. It's a plate we all had spinning, but that damn HP printer is going to break down. Okay, we got to figure out what merchant processor we're going to use, what point of sale software, what CRM we're going to use, all this stuff. And that's the IT plate. You guys spin all of them. And now you know why. So when I say, hey, just call your customs broker, you're like, yeah, when do I do that, bro? When do I do that? And by the way, if you have questions about this stuff, go to accountingplusaccountability.com. We're the only accounting firm on earth that gives you a 2x profit guarantee. We guarantee we'll double your profits in a year, guaranteed. Or the years of the accounting that you paid for, gone out the door. And by the way, we're half the cost of our competitors. Yeah, we come to you every month. We invest in positions called account managers to be little pocket CFOs to you. I tell all of our customers, and if you can see that if you scroll down a little bit on Accounting Plus Accountability, you'll see a quote by me. And it says, when you're interviewing and hiring a firm to partner with, you can either partner with a firm that obsesses over your business as much as you do, or you can just hire an accountant, your choice. And because that's just the way it is, man. I got railroaded years ago by a small business accountant, and it took me years to climb out of that hole. And I said, this will never happen again. Never, never, never on my watch. Never. I know how to do this. So I'm going to build a firm for me. Right. And you'll see that's one of our big core values at our firm is we're big believers in eating our own home cooking. Everything that comes out of our mouth is because we're using it ourselves. End of story. If I don't think it's delicious, we ain't telling you to try it. Right. All right. You want to hear something else that's a really, really cool story? How about this? Goldman Sachs, 76% of small businesses are now using AI. They are. And it's really cool because I'm part of an amazing group of peers in what we call a peer advisory group. We're also the only accounting firm on earth that has these peer advisory groups. And think of them like, I don't know, like I always say it's like your own executive council, your personal board of directors. Okay. And so being in my pack, and we actually meet this afternoon at noon. We meet every Thursday at 12. And this team, like to see these guys, even the last couple of months, to see them more and more using AI is unbelievable. I was one of the very first guys in this years ago, before it even connected to the internet. Day one, learning prompt engineering. I just knew, bro. I just like, bro, you don't know. This is going to be the wave of the future. And I tend to be able to kind of be ahead 5 to 10 years ahead before things become mainstay. It's one of my gifts. I don't have many, but that's one of them. And I knew this thing was going to be huge, and you're starting to see it now. And this is what's happening. Goldman Sachs, 76% of small businesses are now using it. Dude, this is huge. But here's the thing. If you're not, you're officially behind. And I want you to hear what I'm telling you right now. The most important skill that you can learn in 2026, mark my words, the most important skill that you can learn in 2026 is 2 words: prompt engineering. That's it. Prompt engineering. How I can do what I do is because I've got prompts written for a lot of this stuff. So, if you're not behind in experimenting, you're already late to the party. But just start with one tool. Like I tell everybody, just start with chat. Connect it, pay $20. Trust me, you'll get at least 10x value out of the $20. And then it starts learning you, connects to the internet, and now it becomes like your partner that you just tend to go to all the time. Okay. Now, for us, we tend to use like all 5. So my wife and most of the team, we use like chat. I tend to focus on the other 4. So I don't really ever touch chat. I use the other 4, which is going to be Gemini, Claude, Grok, and then Perplexity. So those are the ones that I mainly use on the daily, but we use all five between everybody on the team. And I'm telling you, this is one of those things where it's coming, and there's not much you can do about it. Okay, but what else is going on in the news? And by the way, if you guys have questions about this, go to accountingplusaccountability.com. And there's a little gold button up there that says talk with Aaron. That's me. Hit that. We'll talk about anything you want to talk about. Okay. Let's talk about the NFIB. Love these guys, National Federation of Independent Business Owners or businesses. These guys are probably the largest lobbying group for mom and pop venti shops in the industry. And so I've been a supporter of them for years. I believed in them from the very first time. Andrew, my account rep, is phenomenal. He's a friend of mine, a good friend of mine. We talk all the time. He's a rock solid dude. And the thing is these guys all eat, breathe, and sleep small business. Like it's like a love for the business, not the money, which is it's refreshing. But they're a lobbying group for us, so it kind of makes sense that it's a heart project more than a money project. But they report small business optimism fell 0.5 points to 98.8 in February. Expected real sales volumes dropped 8 points, the weakest in nearly a year. So hiring plans fell to their lowest since May, and taxes remain the top concern for third straight month, which, by the way, it's true. And by the way, all of our brand new clients that we onboard, we build your custom cash flow plan, and we use the profit first methodology up here, the Profit First, Mike Michaelwitz. We've been building custom cash flow plans for all the years since the beginning of our business, since 1968. But I read that book 10 years ago and modified it to the big four categories, and taxes is number one. So go buy the book. It'll change your life. If you need some accountability, we're big believers in having accountability in all areas of weakness. So if you need help, no biggie, let us know, man. We'll get you taken care of. Okay. So piece of cake, though. So here's why this is a big deal, though. When the confidence index drops, it also means your competition is pulling back. Okay. This is your opening. Okay. So if you got cash reserves, now's the time to invest in marketing. Like I got a call this afternoon with one of our clients who is murdering. He's got a great driving school. And so Adam and his wife, Alicia, are just beautiful, amazing people. And you want to talk about people who are just sold out to what they do, go meet and hang out with people that own driving schools. Yeah. They just love what they do and they believe in what they do. It's a heart project for them. And but they are killing it. But they do their own Facebook marketing. And so we've got a call this afternoon like, hey, winkety wink, can you help a brother out? Because we've got a phenomenal back office team that helps us with all of our sales and marketing for Plate 3. But that's the one element I don't have. He's like, absolutely, dude. I can do it all day long. And so, but trust me, like you're seeing it right now. If you put the money there, right, there's less dogs barking up that tree because your competition is pulling back, which means you're more likely to get the kitty up there, right, which is the customer for us. Okay. Okay. All right. So what else is going on in the news today? Consumer spending going K-shaped. What did we talk about this? The K. So here's this, right? So the line, that's the event or the place of time, what's going on with the economy. This is the line. And then from that event, think of the point of the K. It goes this way or that way. Meaning, because the event, the line that goes up with the K, that's the wealthy, those that make a lot of money. And then the line that goes down is those that are affected by the event, and it's us mom and pop venti shops. So think of it like those that benefit from the event are those that live in the castle on the hill where there's a moat around the castle. And so the only way that those people actually understand what we peasants go through in the village at the bottom of the hill is they have to lower the drawbridge over the moat. They have to cross that walk down the hill to hang out with us peasants in the village. Yeah, that's us on the bottom of the K, and that's them at the top of the K. So that's this right here. Us, them, right? Us, them from the event. COVID, anytime there's basically lots and lots and lots of money being dumped in the system, quantitative easing is the term for it. Mark my words, it's what we call trickle up. So what happens is the money basically, the money gets put into the system, okay? And then what happens is the money flows down to consumers, but we spend it all with like fortune companies. So the money, so understand, anytime government, go look at this in history, every time government starts printing money, quantitative easing, okay, you will notice stock market goes crazy. Fortune companies go killer. Just go look. Go track quantitative easing and S&P. Just go look at it. You'll see. Why do you think Berkshire made all the money they did? Because all the money goes to them eventually. All quantitative easing eventually flows down, then back up. Okay? It's the way it works. Down, back up. It's like clouds, like water. It's how it flows. Down, evaporates, back up into the system. That's the fortune right there. Everything goes back up to those guys. So that's why we're the ones affected by this, right? But remember, if you serve budget conscious consumers, shoppers, customers, you got to lean into the value bundles, like with us. Half the cost of our competitors, we're the only accounting firm on earth that spends as much time focusing on documenting what you did last month and preparing you to profit next month. We have account managers. Nobody does what we do. We have a 2x profit guarantee. So what do? We bolster the hell out of the bundle of services we give you guys, so that way you guys work with us and not competition. Duh. Just create a wedge between you and your competition. Keep your price about the same, add more value, more services, more loyalty, like points and stuff. Okay. Just start working on your experience to a higher premium. I'm just telling you right now, it's not you long term unless you're doing that. Okay. The only competitive advantage we have is mom and pop Venti shops. We have nothing. We get beat on everything: the money, the resources, knowledge, and training, the technology, everything. The only thing that we have that separates us from the big boys, our level of customer service and our authenticity. That's it. Nothing else. And if you don't have that figured out, playa, you are not going to be in business. It's not if, but when you go out of business. I'm just telling you, man. It is that. That's the reason why people like us shop with us. Okay, because we want that level of authenticity and that level of service. That's why there's like donut stores like in our town, and the owner knows every person's name. If she meets you 3 times, she knows your name. And you want to know why she's a line out the door? I don't know. Maybe because she knows your name. And we all learn from the great show Cheers. Everybody to be known. Everybody wants to have their name known, right? Everybody does. Okay. All right. So if we can, let's kind of boost into new tax law boosting small business cash flow. Bro, I got to tell you guys a phenomenal story. Okay. So you guys know that 20% QBI permanent deduction, qualified business income. So you know how when you read a profit and loss statement, it's like gross revenue, then your COGS, which is cost of goods. So that's the food, that's the parts, whatever. And then you have what we call gross profit. So that's not gross revenue, but gross profit. Then all of the line items on your P&L, all the expenses. And then you got this hard line down here, and then that's profit or loss. Okay, so one of our businesses, he's manufacturing biz in Missouri. The guy just is freaking amazing. He's got a beautiful vision, wants to be the largest employer in his town. And, it's really cool because the dude literally is, we're visiting yesterday, kind of reviewing his taxes. And it's like 50, I don't know, like 58,000 profit or something, which by the way is phenomenal. And I was kind of doing some ballpark rough estimating. I was like, okay, well, based on deductions and things like that, without putting in tax software, I think we're going to probably, because he's like, man, I really want to be out the door paying less than 5K to the IRS for taxes. And I was like, okay. I said, based on what I'm looking at, I'm thinking more like 2 or 3K. I said, but I'll know after I throw the tax software. And so I got it emailed to me from the office manager yesterday, and she goes, "Oh, good news! He lost 8,500 after all deductions." Yes, bro. Was he not excited yesterday? Because we all know we don't want to pay Uncle Sam 1 penny more than we have to, not 1 penny more. Okay, and so man, I was just so tickled pink for this dude, but that's because of the new tax laws. So people's refunds, bro, are through the roof this year, which we know they're going to be spending it, obviously, consumer spending. Okay. But the Chamber of Commerce reports that small business owners testified on Capitol Hill about the positive impact of ABA, One Big Beautiful Bill Act. The benefits: permanent 20% small business deduction. Yes. Capital expensing that let one owner buy specialty welding equipment, and overall confidence to make long-term investments. 61% of owners report positive cash flow effects. Yep. And basically all of our businesses report like 100% because we also have dedicated account managers that visit with you monthly to talk about last month's financials. Here's what we see. It's like your little pocket CFO. Here's what I see. What do you see? Owner says, oh, I noticed, I think this got categorized incorrectly. No problem. I'll have that fixed by next month. But let's make sure next month we don't spend X amount of dollars on marketing. Let's keep to our budget. Here's what it is. Are you tracking? Okay. All right. Now, Let's flow into no way. Bro, this is huge for us, man. 63% of entrepreneurs are planning business exits. What? This is huge, man. By the way, this is a huge thing that we do every year. So we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of small businesses we do accounting for, taxes for, and all that stuff. And we do something what's called the annual entity maintenance package. It's a couple $100, but we basically make sure all your documents where it needs to be, you're filed to where you need to be, your meeting minutes are done. Make sure we update your org plan, your operating agreement, all that stuff. We've got all these forms, everything we do for you. We literally visit with you for like 1 hour, do a big interview, and then update all your docs for the year, and you don't have to think about it again. It's like your little insurance policy. And one of the things we talk about is succession planning. Because a lot of you guys know, I say this all the time. I have 3 parents: my mom, my natural dad, and my adopted dad. Adopted dad, I always call Pops. Pops number 1. And so, but my natural dad, who I met for the very first time in 2007, I was 30, and he was tragically killed 3 years later playing softball. Yeah, he was. He was struck in the head, and very tragic for me. It took me years to kind of get over that. But what kept his wife, not my mom, but what kept his wife and the kids from being destitute is dad had a, I don't know, $1.2 million insurance policy, something like that. And so when we do succession planning, we always talk about what's our agreements in place in case the owner passes away. Do we have term life in place to make sure we take care of the spouse and kids? Like, it's just, these are the things, and the entrepreneur never does this because they don't feel they have the time, and then they feel guilty for focusing on themselves. It's just this weird thing that we go through. It's the mental torment that we go through as a mom and pop venti shop. But I want you to understand, bro, 63% of entrepreneurs are planning to exit their businesses like in the next 10 years. And so we have a big job to do to make sure that we've equipped, because even just in the last 10 years, I've closed more third generation businesses than I've seen in my entire adult life. And this trend's not going away. So we have a responsibility to save these guys. We do. And by the way, if you have questions about this stuff, you're like, oh my God, Ron, what you do sounds amazing. Yeah, go to accountingplusaccountability.com, click the little gold box up there that says talk with Ron, and it goes right to my calendar. We'll schedule, we'll talk about anything you want to talk about. Okay. But here's the thing: if you're planning on selling your business, bro, we need to talk because we need to do some succession planning. We have to make sure you got SOPs lined up, because you're going to get way more for your business if you've engineered your business where the systems run your business and not you as the owner. If you engineered your business to sell and the owner does all the work, then you're only going to be able to hire a person in that trade. But if you've got this thing engineered to kind of run on itself, or kind of almost like an absentee run business, where it requires involvement, but like not a lot of time, and the existence of the business runs and money comes in, and it has nothing to do with you. It usually takes us some time to engineer those SOPs to put it in place. So 6 months ish, we can have that business engineered, built the custom cash flow plan, put your SOPs in place, start helping you with some team members to kind of do, and then put it on the market. You're going to get 2 or 3 times what you're before. So this is a big thing. If you're thinking about selling, we got to talk now, even if it's like a year or even years down the road, because we got to clean all this up. The books, the processes, right? Documents, like all this stuff to make sure the business runs without you. Okay. So accountingplusaccountability.com will help you guys with this problem. Let's talk about, bro. Okay. Well, we have now shifted into, what'd you guys think of the Juice News, by the way? I knew like everything was amazing, bro. And today, being Treat Yourself Thursday, I'm really excited because there's a couple little things I want us to talk about. Okay. You guys know today is about spirit, mind, and body, man. Okay. So we know that you grind every day, all day. So today, what we do is we just pause and we take care of the person that runs the business. We take care of the wizard behind the curtain. That's you. So, we always give you, cheap, unique little quick self-care ideas that you guys can do in, I don't know, 60 minutes to 90 minutes, right? Little things that you can do to just help take care of yourself, because you got to refuel this body. Everything around you just takes, and you got to refuel for yourself. So here's some ideas, man, for the mind. Go on a 10-minute journal dump, okay? And just like coffee. Grab a cup of coffee, your tea, sit somewhere, set a timer for 10 minutes. Write down everything on your mind. What's worrying you, your ideas, your gratitude, your frustrations. Do not edit. Don't spell check. Don't grammar check. Just dump. Matter of fact, if you know how to type, without looking at the keyboard, close your eyes. That's what I do. Whenever I'm in that mode, or I do this. If you ever see me doing this, you know I'm thinking. Like my mind is in the fourth dimension. I am not with you presently. Okay. It's kind of like when you're watching Severance and they're on the other side and they're like gone. That's the way it is for me. Like I'm Severance. I'm in the other side of the brain. Okay. Don't edit. When the timer goes off, close that journal. Take 3 deep breaths. 2 in, 3 out. Wow. Oh my God, I feel so much better. What did you just do? You decluttered your brain, bro. Cup of tea, cup of coffee, all done. And now that, man, you got so much in you. I always say we all have a little plankton in our brain, you know, from SpongeBob, that little piece of plankton. He's like smaller than a grain of rice, but in the head, he's like huge. He's like, we will rule the world. And then you see him outside. He's like, Meemo, me. He's like this little guy. Like, and so, but if you let him in your head, he's really loud. The only way to get plankton out and to help you realize how small he is you got to write it. You got to write. You got to journal. You got to get him out of the head, and that has to come through the hand. You have to write it out. Okay. All right. What can we do for the body? The walk and talk, power loop, bro. Dude, everybody's got a power loop. Everybody does, man. Call someone you've been meaning to catch up with, a friend, mentor, mom. Go for a 30-minute walk. I do that all the time, bro. When I walk, like we're about to go on this weekend thing, and I'm so excited. It's this Dave Bayer conference that's going to be in Austin. I'm just beyond excited about it. And but I signed Rebecca up for like the VIP experience. It's her birthday. She freaking deserves it. She's amazing. And so I'm going to be doing a lot of walking. But when I walk, that's I guess it catch up. So I try to multitask. So, and one of these Treat Yourself Thursdays, I'm going to show you what I use and put around my neck, which is a game changer. But today, couple little things I'm going to show you guys are going to also change your life. And they're insanely cheap, but I walk and talk. So set a timer, like I'm going to go for 30 minutes, and then have one person you're going to talk to. Is it mom? Who is it? Whoever it is. Okay. And so just go out. We got to get the vitamin D. We got to get the sunlight. We need to have our corneas adjust. We need our bodies to feel the temperature outside. We get the exercise, the fresh air, the sunlight, and then we get the human connection, man. We were all put here on earth, man. God put us together to live in community, to live in a village. That's why we always said it takes a village to raise a family, man. Because we need a village. We need a village so we don't go crazy. Okay. My daughter's got 3 kids. And to be honest with you, her husband's also a child. So she's got 4. And by the way, that was me also for like the first 20 years of our marriage. Rebecca basically had 2 kids plus me. So my daughter's got to be around actual adults because she's got kids to take care of. Okay. And so, but studies show that walking, meetings boost creativity, thinking by 60% compared to sitting. I believe it, bro. I believe it. For years, I had a treadmill that I bought off of Craigslist for like $100, and then I engineered like this standing table with PVC pipe that kind of structured it, and so I could just walk and just walk and talk, bro. Kept that at a 1 pace, so it was just like walking. I didn't even realize it, and I don't know. Something happens in me. We're talking about laws of physics here, bro. Like you know what I'm talking about. Objects at rest tend to stay at rest. Objects in motion tend to stay in motion unless acted upon by an outside force, right? So we know that in the beginning it's weird, but then eventually we get addicted to it. It's the way we work. Oh Lord, the mic is jumping all over the place. All right. Now, can we also take care of the spirit? The gratitude soak. Today, run a warm bath. Add some Epsom salt if you got it. $3 in a drugstore. While you soak, mentally list 5 things that went right in your business this week or right in your day, bro. Not the problems, not the to-do list. Keep yourself focused, man. And trust me, Plankton does not want you doing this. So be prepared. If you're not somebody that focuses on gratitude a lot, be prepared to have a big mental fight on your hands. But trust me, it's worth it. Do it. Okay. But remember, just do the wins. Okay. Light a candle if you want, or those little flickering little LEDs, right? But the combination of warm water, the gratitude, and the stillness resets your nervous system like you've never seen. Trust me, playa, you earned this. You want to know what else you earned? Can we talk about some of these little tips and tricks? We're about to jump into the reframe of the day, which is going to blow your face, your mind, and your head off your body. But let's just talk real quick. These are my faves, bro. These are my faves. This, I call it my giant hook. Okay, it's made for a giant. It's got a squishy. By the way, everything you see here, you'll be in my notes description on my YouTube page. And by the way, also a little disclaimer. Yes, I make like 2 pennies on this crap. Trust me, this dude doesn't make any money from anything he does. He just does it because he loves it. Wants this to be your daily like place you come, you learn, you get encouraged, a little inspiration. You guys know our handshake agreement. If you learn or laugh today, you've got to like and subscribe. Okay. And if you need any help with any of this stuff today we've talked about, go to accountingplusaccountability.com. You'll get directly to us. Okay. Now, this is my hook. This is always with me. It never goes anywhere. I use it 24/7 all the time. Okay. So like when I leave in the day. So this is the next thing we're going to talk about. Okay. Right here can change your life. So this is what I do. Here's my bottle. Okay. My water bottle. Okay. Easy cheesy. Look at this. Look at this. By the way, all this crap you see here on Amazon, of course. Now, Gene, this is what I put my tea in. I've done this for years. And the greatest collapsible stool table in human history we're going to talk about right now. All this stuff you see here, plus the hook, is going to be little links for Amazon. Okay. And but I tell you what I really use, and this is, I know it's going to sound hysterical, but I buy these hooks in like packs of 3 or 5, depending on what I can get my hands on, because I give them out. And so Rebecca and I have Walmart delivery like all the time, like Walmart Plus. Plus, you get like Peacock or Paramount for free, which is amazing because that's how we watch Landman. Now, I give these out because when they deliver the groceries, they're like their fingers are bleeding because they're putting them in their little fingers, and I'm like, oh man. And bro, years ago we lived in an apartment, and they would come to the door with that, and so I would literally give them this and say, this is going to change your life. And so they could put all your bags of groceries right here and carry them just like this. And it's a piece of cake because it's not the weight, it's the pressure, the concentrated pressure on the finger. Okay, so you see what I'm saying? So that's this. Change your life. I use it every single day. Now, can we talk about the greatest stool in human history? Okay, so this bad boy here. Look at this. Mm-hmm. It's probably 2/3 open. You can see here, right here. It's got a little bit more. Yes. This is used every single day. You want to know why I started using this? So the town that we used to live in, it's called Mansfield, Texas. Well, Best Mates Pickles is in this town. And so St. Patty's Day every year, they have something in town called the Pickle Parade. Swear it's amazing. They have a pickle queen, bro. Like it's a big, big deal. The entire town is freaking green. Okay. And during COVID, we didn't, they had the Pickle Parade for like, and they came back in that 3rd year, bro. It was like, what? And bro, everybody from anywhere within 100 miles came to the Pickle Parade. And bro, it was standing room only in this downtown area. And so I'm literally standing there, and I blew my back out powerlifting in 2004. And so I deal with bad back issues and have. So it's standing for a long period of time is a big deal for me, and I can't. And so I had this idea. I'm like, damn it, why doesn't somebody just make a collapsible stool? And I got on Amazon right then and freaking found it, bro. Right here, this thing. I was like, what? Now, this is like version 3.0. They've modified it since then. Dude, this thing, game changer. Now, it's always with me. Pop that stool open. I have a seat. Where else? Let's think. Stool, I use this for my feet. I use this when I'm sitting in the tub and I'm soaking. I'm thinking. It's sitting next to me as my little side table. My feet, and it's also a stool. It can hold like 250 pounds. This thing right here. This guy. Okay. I couldn't fathom my life without it. And I tell you, like years ago, our grandbaby's now 5, but she was like 1 or 2, and she was in like what's that little Tykes Jamboree type of class. And it's like all like the kids are rolling around. It's like all like the moms and dads, and they don't have any chairs in there. Okay, so I'm the one who's like, right, I hate floor, right? And so I bring my stool in. Every single dad comes up to me. I need the link. I will buy that this second. This thing's like $20. It's like, it's so cheap, right? This little hook is like $5 for this whole thing. These things are cheap, and I'm, mark my words, bro. Life change. The purpose of the show is to help you get 1% smarter, to be 1% better, 1% more efficient. And I'm pretty sure that I did not disappoint with today's treat yourself, right? I knew. Are you ready for the greatest reframe lesson that you've ever heard? I know you are. And it's something we were already talking about today. Okay, so you guys know every day we do a lesson from Scott Adams, last book that he wrote before he passed away. He passed away January 13th of this year. I've always called him our modern day oracle. For me, he's Pops number 3. And so every day we do a reframe from something that Scott taught. And go get the book; it'll change your life. Today, here's the normal frame. Your critics are evil monsters. Yep. And so here is the new way of looking at it. Sorry, that was me drinking water. Your critics are your mascot. That's right. But also and this is also something that Scott taught about critics and about feedback, is that he said, and he actually is the one that changed my life and how to rethink how I think about feedback. Where before, I would always take my business personally, and I should, but then I would take the feedback personally, and I shouldn't. And so I was like, and he said this one thing. He said, "You want to know the reason why Dilbert is so successful is because early on I started envisioning when I would get feedback like those old timey cash registers where you hit the button, it's like cha-ching, and the drawer flies out." And so he's like, I basically had to reframe this in my mind where I got excited about getting feedback. And now I just think a cash register where it's making me, like the business or me personally, more money. Like somebody gives me feedback that helps me be a better person. That adds to like my value, right? It just makes me a better person, which adds value. And so you have to understand like feedback is the most important thing. And the thing is, you have to understand what feedback is. So we call it the 4 C's of feedback: comments, criticism, complaints, and compliments. Most people think 3 are bad and 1 is good. That's false. 3 are great, 1 is okay. Don't tell me what I'm doing right. How the hell am I supposed to make it better for the business? And not only that, as a business owner, I want you to understand when a customer has the balls, okay, to come up to you to complain, okay, you have to be thinking in your mind, whoa, wait, hold on. If I've got this one customer complaining, maybe I probably have 2 dozen customers who are doing the same thing, and they're just going to leave me. My job's to fix this for the customer because I have other customers that are suffering from the same thing who just aren't saying anything. And your job, when this person shares with you and is vulnerable with you, they didn't have to. They could just stop doing business with you. They shared it. And after they shared it, if you smack them, like, yeah, and you blow them off or you discredit them, you just taught that person they don't want to hear from me. It's not if, but when you go out of business. If you do not know how to properly handle feedback from your consumer, your customer, you are screwed. Okay. So understand 4 C's of feedback is designed to make you money. Every time you get feedback, bro, there should always be a little cash register, cha-ching. I'm making money, playa. That's what we're talking about here. Okay. So feedback is important. Criticism, important. Comments, right? Critiques, all important. Don't slap your customer when they are honest and vulnerable with you about your business or service. Okay. They're just being honest with you. Your job is to do something with it. And here's a little tip for you. When they're upset about something, stop blaming a person. Stop it. You need to have a core value that says that we believe in failing forward. And you also need to practice Novinger's law of radical responsibility. And I've done this my entire life. Anything that happens to me, especially if it's bad, I ask myself one question: is there anything I personally could have done to have kept that from happening? If the answer is yes, I know who to blame, or at least I'm partially to blame. Okay. So look, dude, if something happens, it's not a person, it's a process. Okay. It's not a person, it's a process. So, and usually, when something like that happens, there's usually a broken system or process or no system or process at all, which is an opportunity for us to fix, right? One is empowerment, the other side is a victim. You can only be one of the two. What are you going to be? What'd you guys think of today's lesson? Blow your mind, your face, and your head off your body? I knew it. I told you. Play, I don't lie. Okay. You guys know no show tomorrow. Rebecca and I head out this afternoon for the 3-day conference, David Bayer's conference. Bro, I am so excited about this, man. I am so excited about it. But you guys have a magical, magical Friday. That's Magical Monday. Tomorrow is Good Friday. You guys know it's the day of love. It's a day of peace. It's a day of reconciliation. Call a friend, call a loved one, tell them how much you love them, appreciate it. Tell one of your team members how much you appreciate them. Buy the person behind you lunch, a coffee, whatever it is That's tomorrow. You guys will hang out. We'll be back on Monday. But man, if you guys think everything we talked about here is hard to do or easy to do, you're right. That's why you always hear me say easy cheesy. No matter what it is, easy cheesy. Jocko Willick always talks about good. No matter what happens, good. Right. For me, it's easy cheesy. Right. So if you think it's hard or you think it's easy, you're right. Don't be just working business. You have to carve out time to mind your own business. Right. All right, my beautiful peeps. You got the news, you got the tips and tricks. Now, you got to go own this day. My name is Aaron Novinger, the Venti Business Guy, and you know what time it is. What time is it, my beautiful peeps? What time is it? You know what time it is. It's time to get to work. Come on now. Kapow!